Okay, hear this all the time. Why does God allow suffering?
Why does God
And
allow
I
suffering?
always say, like, God doesn't allow suffering. We make it happen. We do it because of ourselves. That's what I always say. But what's your intake on it?
Why does God allow suffering?
That's what they said.
God allows suffering because there's evil in the world. God allows suffering because there's evil in the world. And another thing is, too, is you see my son, right? Okay, say he come in here and his arm was in a bandage, he was all scraped up, and he had a broken arm and a concussion. And you said, what happened to us? Well, my dad broke my arm and threw me against a rock. You'd be like, Jesus, what the hell kind of father are you? But then, well, why did he do that? Well, I was hanging over a cliff and I was about to fall, so he reached over and grabbed me, and he broke my arm when he grabbed me, and he pulled me up and he threw me, and I hit a rock. I'd look like a hero then, wouldn't I?
Yeah, it's all about context.
So in other words, sometimes we will suffer, and God will allow us to suffer to keep us from a greater danger, losing our soul. Suffering is purifying. You got to remember, Christ hung on a cross and died for our sins. He died a suffering death. That's the path he chose. He says, if you want, he says, you will have to follow my footsteps. In other words, suffering purifies you. It teaches you to abandon yourself for others. And when you can take your suffering to the best form, to where you offer it to others for that there.
Where is one?
There should be one in the cubby hole. Or is my notebook in there? If not, there's one in my notebook.
I think you always come back here and just...
I don't know. Is my black notebook in there?
I'll look for it.
It
Usually
may
it's in
not
the
be.
back seat. Usually you have something like back here.